So Hillary Clinton says it's not fair that what women have to go through when they jump into the presidential race. Watch this.
How does a woman stand up for herself on the biggest stage in the world without, number one, looking aggressive, maybe a little bit angry? How do you get on this kind of Goldilocks path where you're not too strong and you're not too weak, you're not too aggressive and you're not too passive? This is still a problem for women on the public stage.
So what do you think about that? Let's bring in Deirdre Bolton, Fox business anchor and host of Women and Money, Lisa Booth, Fox News contributor, and Jessica Tarlov, senior director of research at Bustle.com and a Fox News contributor. Let me start with you, Deirdre. Is she right about that?
I don't know that her comments are relevant to the 2020 candidates. I think a lot of the anger that went towards Hillary Clinton was because a lot of people didn't like the Clintons. And I think that's why President Trump got so much wind in his sails with Drain the Swamp. I think for a lot of people, the Clintons are a good example of the swamp. So I'm not sure that her experience is going to be completely applicable to the next set of candidates.
Jessica, let me go to you next on this. You know, is it difficult, do you think, for women to kind of find the right balance in all of this?
I think that it is difficult, even if you go down to something, and I certainly don't want to reduce any of these women's presidential aspirations to picking out an outfit. But there is so much more commentary about pantsuits versus dresses and striking what kind of colors pop. I mean, we think about this kind of stuff all the time being on television. It's, you know, a visual medium when you go to the debates. And to Deirdre, to your point about people not liking the Clintons, that's absolutely correct. But Hillary Clinton was bearing the brunt of a lot of damage that her husband did. Think about having to be in a presidential debate and to have the women that your husband allegedly sexually assaulted sitting in the front row there.
A lot of baggage.
Exactly. But I do like that you pointed out that it will be easier for this next round of candidates because there are more of them. It's a lot harder to pick on people when they're in a pack than it is when it's just one.
But see, this is something that frustrates me, and Jess, you know I love you, but this is something that frustrates me about progressive women is they keep saying that they want equality, but what they're really advocating is for special treatment, that somehow they should be protected or insulated from criticism. And you look at some of the stuff that President Trump gets called narcissistic. He's been fat-shamed over his, doctor reviews and
all kinds of attacks on his hair, everything.
You know, I mean, there's articles about him being angry, and I think of Hillary Clinton. I mean, this is what she does. She plays the victim. Remember from 2016, how many things has she blamed for the loss? The DNC, the media, Comey, Putin. I mean, the list goes on and on. I think stop playing the victim. Stop asking for special treatment. If you want equality, suck it up, take it on the chin, and be like everyone else.
I just think that the likability thing is a little bit of a tired argument. I mean, you know, every politician tries to come across as someone that people want to can relate to. And I think that's true for men, and I think it's true for women. I don't necessarily think that it's something that is different.
I've even heard from AOC, and I mean, she has not thrown her hat in the president, but she's charismatic.
Absolutely,
even if people think that
every time she does something, you want to watch her. It's an overall quality that makes people want to know more about you, makes them want to listen to your argument.
Whether or not
you agree. And I think it's true whether it's a man or woman. But, you know, in terms of the whole women issue, look at this headline from the Washington Post. Motherhood was once a campaign liability. The 2020 female candidates are making it an asset, which brings us to this golden oldie from 1992 and the aforementioned Hillary Clinton. Watch this.
I suppose I could have stayed home and baked cookies and had teas, but what I decided to do was to fulfill my profession, which I entered before my husband was in public life.
I like that, Hillary Clinton. I actually, you know, you listen to her, she was just like, you know what? This is who I am. And I think people relate to, I mean, at the time, she got a tremendous amount of heat for it, but she was just being honest.
No, she was just being honest. And I think sometimes if you speak to working mothers, a lot of them will say, yeah, I'm actually more efficient. I have to do it right the first time because I have to get home and I have a bunch of other people to take care of. So I'm actually glad. I mean, we have a record number of women in Congress. I mean, I see progress.
Yeah, but now everybody's trying to soften up their image and talk about their kids and talk about what it's like to be a mom. And it's, you know, I don't know, men don't do that. So why should women do that?
Although Paul Ryan, when he resigned, didn't he say I want to spend more time with my family?
I think it's becoming a more open topic for men, too.
It certainly should, and I think these women are talking about it because it's an important part of everyday Americans' lives. That's why they're pushing for family leave, parental leave, to make sure that we have daycare, universal pre-K. These are bread and butter issues to Americans. We should see more men talking about it because they are equal partners in this, or are supposed to. But for Democrats specifically, specifically, having elected a record number of women to Congress this year, it is
I
very
think that's
smart
what it's
to be
about.
talking
I think it's
about
about reaching out to those suburban moms, and everybody knows that they are an important voting bloc. Speaking of moms, Meghan Markle says that she and Harry, this is according to reports, because of course the royals never say anything actually about this themselves, that they're going to raise their child with gender fluidity, and that the room apparently is going to be gray and white and not pink or blue. Deirdre.
You know, gray and white room, why not? I mean, buy Legos for everyone, buy stuffed animals for everyone. I think this is sort of much ado about nothing. I think kids have amazing imaginations, amazing creativity, you know.
Lisa.
So I actually think it might be somewhat of a PR strategy because Meghan Markle, because she struggles with talking about the likability factor. There's all these stories about her being this terrible person to work for, a lot of staff that have left.
She sends emails too early.
Right, no, but there's plenty of news stories basically indicating that she's not that great of a person to be around. So she embraces progressivism and puts herself out there like that. She'll be insulated and protected by the media who subscribes to that viewpoint, and also a large portion of society who thinks that's cool.
She's been an activist actually since her teen years. She doesn't actually need to earn any cred that way. I think that she is speaking to an important movement that we've seen major toy companies, Walmart, Target, now the toy aisles are gender neutral. Mattel has an amazing Close the Dream Gap campaign right now that everyone should check out.
I think neutral, and I'm not talking about anything sexual in terms of sexuality, just neutral. Neutral can be a little boring. I like a little color.
But yellow and green are great colors.
Pink's always been my favorite color.
Yeah, I gotta go. Thanks, you guys.
Decorating
Have a great weekend, ladies.